Hey, media, we see you all starting to file in. We'll just give everyone a minute to load into the Zoom before we get started. For those of you in right now, if you want to get in the queue to ask David a question, you can hit the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. And we'll get started first with an opening statement from David. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, thanks. I would obviously like to first of all thanks Jacob's family and Cam Neely, Don Sweeney for letting me to come back and keeping the doors open for me. And I'm super excited to come back and can't wait to start a new sweet season. And obviously, and again, I would like to thank to my agent for talking to Don over the last few weeks, a bunch of times, and getting the deal done. And like I said, I'm really excited to get it going.
Thank you, David. We'll start with questions from Steve Conroy.
Hey, David, welcome back.
Thank you.
When did you decide that you did want to come back to Boston?
Yeah. I know we signed, me and Berkey and Zaka, we signed yesterday, but the decision was made a few weeks before that. I think my last game was sometime early June at the World Championship, and then I went to US, got away from hockey and just clear my head. After a few weeks, start talking to my family about the future, and we decided to go back to Boston or back to NHL. Obviously, Boston was my my number one option and pretty much my only option. And I'm glad we got it done. But the decision also, I have to give credit to Bergie, him and Pasta. We had so many conversations in last few months about coming back or not, and they're the reason why I want to go back and play with those guys again.
Yeah. And did you get many offers from other teams, and did you entertain any of them?
So when I decided to come back, I told my agent, after obviously I had to talk to Sweens, and he let me know he wants me on the team, and I told him that's the team I want to play for. That's the only team I want to play for, and that's what I told my agent. But at the same time, I wasn't ready to retire yet. I wanted to make a comeback to NHL, and I told my agent, just get a deal done. Do what you got to do. Let's just get it done. I want to be Boston Bruin next season. Obviously, there was a B plan, but I never wanted to go that way. I didn't want to play anywhere else, and I'm more than happy that I'm Bruin again.
Thank you, David.
We'll go next to Joe Haggerty, Boston Hockey Now.
Hey, David. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just curious if the coaching change played any role, any factor in you deciding to come back. Did that make any difference to you at all?
That would be a good story if I would say yes, but my my decision was made before they hired the new coach. So the firing Butchie had nothing to do with my decision coming back.
The prospect of potentially playing with Pasta this year on the same line, is that something that's pretty attractive to you? Something that you and Pasta have talked a lot about?
Yeah. Obviously, who wouldn't want to play with one of the best players in the world? I was lucky enough that I got to play with him on the same line at the World Championship, and that was kind of the turning point in my decision, coming back to NHL. Just playing with him, just kind of seeing what we can still do together. That was pretty cool. So yeah, it would be nice to play with him. I'm sure I get a chance to play with him this year. But that was the reason why I wanted to come back to play with him. I want to be on the same team with him. But like I said, I talked to Bergie a lot this summer, and I'm sure I can speak for himself. We're coming back to try to make a push. Not sure how many years we got left, but we're coming back to do something because we believe in the team, and so we'll see what happens.
And looking back now over the last year, going home to the Czech and playing last season, bringing your family over there, was it everything you hoped it would be? Was, your kids experiencing the culture and your family and, getting to play where it all started for you, that whole experience, was it everything that you wanted it to be and envisioned it to be?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was even better than I thought it would be. Just being around my family pretty much every day. It was something. It was special. That was a special year for me, and I remember that year forever. It was amazing being at home and showing my family where I grew up. My oldest daughter when I went to school. So just a great experience. I'm obviously gonna miss it. I miss my family, my friends, my teammates from last year, but I feel like I'm back where I belong.
Thanks, Krejci. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Matt Porter, Boston Globe.
Hi, David. Good to see you again. Just continuing along those lines, the hockey aspect of it over in Czech, how did you find you fit into that? And coming back to the NHL, what are you going to have to kind of put yourself through training-wise, mental, the mental aspect of it to try to get ready for, what's obviously a different game over here?
I've been getting ready pretty much since middle of March. We lost in first round playoffs, and then I did my summer workout right away. Then I got invited to play a world championship, so I took 2 weeks off of working out, and then after that, again, I started training. So, but you know what, going last year, leaving NHL, going back to Czech, obviously that league is not on the same level as NHL, but I was just going there. I signed 1-year deal. I told myself I'd just make the most of it, see what happens after that. And I was fortunate enough to play for Czech team at the Olympics and then at the World Championship. And those 2 tournaments show me that I can still play at high level and be a difference maker. So that was something I was thinking about when I was thinking about coming back to NHL.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure they would have you back if you wanted to come back over there. What were those conversations like when you told them? And was there
I'm
any?
sorry.
Well, obviously, they would like to have you back over there if you wanted to go back. What were those conversations like? And was there any humor about the kind of situation?
Are you asking me how I told them that I'm going back to NHL?
Sure. Yeah. Anything kind of stick out to you about how that went? Obviously, I'm sure they understood where you were coming from, but was there anything funny about it?
So I had a really good relationship with the GM and the coach. I told them after season that I need some time to think about it. They know how much I love playing there. They also know how much I love being in Boston. So I told them straight up. Just like I told Don Sweeney and Cam that I'm gonna need some time, get away from hockey, think about it. When you have family, you don't just think about yourself. It's important to have feedback from your family, and kids getting older. But yeah, after I made my decision, that was a tough phone call. I don't like to doing those phone calls. I did it last year with Don and Cam. I had to do it this year with the coach I had last year in Czech and the GM. So those are not fun conversations, but they were so supportive. They told me that they had a feeling I'll come back to Boston, and they're excited for me. They wish me the best. Like I said, we had a good relationship, and that's kind of how it went down.
Cool. All right. Good to see you again. Thanks.
Thank you.
Go next to Jimmy Murphy, Boston Hockey Now.
Hey, Krejci, how are you? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just want to, what did you, when you kind of sit back, I don't know if it happened at all during last season or, when you were starting to think about coming back, but what did you miss most about playing over here, being in Boston or playing in the NHL?
Well, NHL is one of a kind. It's I definitely missed it. There's so much of I missed it, but I think most importantly the guys. I developed really good relationship with lots of guys on the team and also off the team. Boston, I've been in a long time. I have so many good friends. So the relationship, that was the part that I missed the most. And obviously, and then when we moved to ice, the NHL arenas and the Garden, it's always special to play there.
Nice. And I'm wondering too, when you were over there, is there something, you're always trying to evolve with the game, trying to get better. Is there something you were focused on over there to improve with your game and to bring back this way?
I'm not sure I understand your question. You asking me if I worked on something during the season?
Yeah. Was there something about your game that you worked on that you felt you got better at over there?
Lots of things I got better at. I was obviously put in a different situation than I was in last few years in Boston, and I liked it. I played everything. I enjoyed it. Not really sure how to answer your question.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Final question. You mentioned there how Pasta did a good job kind of recruiting you or trying to help convince you to come back here. Are you going to do the same to keep him in Boston and have him sign here?
For me, I signed one year contract. I want to do everything possibly I can to make a playoff and make a push. And Pasta's big part of my decision. I decided to come back. I understand he has 1 year left. He's going to be free agent, but it's up to him. I obviously want to be back this year with him on the same team. What happens next happens next. He's got his own life. It's his future. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I don't know what he's thinking. If that's the question you're asking me, he's been in Europe the whole summer. I've been in the US, and we talk a lot about, especially the first month, about me coming to Boston. Like I said, him and Bergie were a big part in my decision. After that, when I told them that I decided to come back, we haven't talked that much, to be quite honest.
Okay. And who's your agent, by the way?
Been dealing with my deal, Yuri Hamal. He's from Czech.
Okay.
I've been with him since I'm 15 years old, so a long time.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go next to Chris Ryan, New Hampshire Radio.
Hey, David, congrats on coming back. Listening to you speak, like I'm hearing a lot of kind of like unfinished business and things that, your relationships and maintaining those with your teammates and outside of that. And also, on the ice in terms of being a competitive player in the NHL and winning a championship. Is that a big theme for you that you felt like you had more to give in this role, and that was kind of driving your decision?
I feel like I have a lot to offer still. I know people talk about my age, but it's just a number. I feel I'm in good shape, and yeah, obviously I'm coming back to try to go all the way, right? But I've been in the league a long time, so I know what it takes to make the playoffs and then go all the way. So just one step at a time. I know we have some injuries early on, some key players, so we're gonna miss those guys for sure. But hey, maybe that's gonna bring our team closer right at the beginning, and that would be good, So.
And just final thing for me, how much do you think it drives you and Bergie, and Marshy to get that second championship as a group? Is that a big thing for you?
Oh yeah, it's the older you get, you don't really care about the individual stats, goals, assists, and stuff like that. All you care is about the team success, and that's why I'm coming back. I've been with those guys for a long time, and most of them are going to be on the team this year. So that's amazing, and that's why I'm coming back. I want to play with those guys, and I want to make a push with those guys as well.
Thanks.
Go to Bridget through WEI.
Hey, Krejci, let's finish out your career in the NHL now that you're back. Would you want to go back? You said it was so.
Travis, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, it sounded garbled to me too. Bridget, can you check your mic and we'll come back to you? And we'll go to Ian McLaren.
Hey, David, welcome back and congrats on the deal. How close were you, if at all, to returning last season for the playoff push? And were you able to watch the series against the Hurricanes? And how close do you think this team is to, getting deep into the playoffs this coming season?
There was lots of questions there. All right, so I'll start with, I did watch a couple of games in the playoffs. Obviously those games are late in Europe, 1, 2 a.m. So that's that was late, and that was during the beginning of the World Championship. So, but I did watch a couple games, few periods. They lost Game 7, so they were not that far. But and then what was the next question? If I was,
if you close to considering coming back last season for the playoff push, was that close to happening, or how did that all go down?
Yeah, so there was it was just a bad timing. It was we were in the first round of playoffs, and we were supposed to win. They won the last 2 games. They turned the series around and they beat us. And then there was, I think, maybe 2 days. There was only like 2 days for me to sign and have to come back to the United States from Europe. And there wasn't enough time for me to get my daughter out of school, pack everything up. I didn't have enough time to do that. And that was kind of why I didn't even think about it, because it just didn't make any sense. It was, like I said, my daughter was at school, and at the same time, I committed for 1 full year. I thought we were gonna go past the first round. We didn't. That wasn't. I wasn't thinking about going back to Boston last year at all. They had their thing going. I had my thing going. Everybody who knows me, I committed to something, and I'm gonna stick with that decision. So that's what I did. And yeah, after we finished first round, and yes, I had some phone calls, but just the timing wasn't right. 2 days, I think it was 2 or 3 days. It just wasn't enough to get things done.
Thank you.
Bridget, if you want to try again.
Hi, David. Sorry about that.
All right, that's better.
You can hear me? Okay. do you think you'll finish out your career in the NHL now that you're back, or would you want to go back to the Czech League at some point because you had such a good experience there?
Huh? I was asking a question.
So I did play, so I grew up where I played last year, right? So I always wanted to play there. I never got to play at that rink for men. That was always one of my dreams. I got to do that last year. I made a decision because obviously my contract expired and I was getting a little bit older. You never know what can happen with injuries, and I would always regret that. So I've done that. I'm not gonna say never, because never say never, but right now that's not what's on my mind now. I'm focusing on being in the best shape I can be for the training camp and for the upcoming season. What happened after that happens. I'm gonna deal with that, when the season ends.
Thank you, David. That's all the questions we have. Thank you, media, for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Krejci.
Thank you. Appreciate it.